Hey, 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 it's your girl Lisa Love with It's All Love. Happy Monday to you. I know it's a little bit different here. We're going to just take it all the way live at gmtradio.com/podcast. For those of you who are listening, sometimes we will do the Facebook Live, but we kind of low key today, but I'm just glad that you're listening in. And then we'll go ahead and try to get this recorded show out to folks who may miss it live. But of course, we appreciate our listeners and just want to remind folks, those of you who have been with us, but then also those of you who may be new, what the It's All Love with Lisa Love show is in fact all about. It is entertaining and informative coverage of the people and places and things that we love. So that allows us to kind of go in all kinds of directions with some good conversation. As you all may know, if you've been tuning in and paying attention to our updates, we're adding correspondence. Some may be temporary, some may be permanent, but we're kind of just opening the floodgates and allowing people to come in and kind of talk about their areas of specialty. So we're going to be focusing on sports. We're going to be focusing in on beauty and fashion. We even have someone on finance, and then different people will be coming in at different times. So we're just super excited about that. Listen, I know y'all love your girl, and I really, really appreciate that because many of you do show love, but I just want to open up the doors and allow some other voices to come before you. So I just thank you for tuning in. Again, It's All Love with Lisa Love, Mondays at gmtradio.com podcast, and that's Mondays 4:30 to 5:30. So today we have Suzy Q back again. You're gonna say hello to our listeners.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, so we got Suzy Q back, and we're gonna finish that conversation about like body types and things like that. We have a couple of cool things lined up for you guys. We're gonna chat it up a little bit, and we're going to get through today's broadcast with some good information. First things first, I just wanted to ask you how you doing with those Christmas savings. Remember? Thought we forgot. So we're about to ease on into September. So look, what we got: September, October, November, and then pretty much, a little bit of December, but then it's going to be like time to, shop till you drop and do what you have to do. So, I mean, you have a good minute. I mean, you still have a good solid, 4 months, at least 3.5 months to get some savings in. So we were just saying things like just tuck away a little something, because guess what? One thing for sure, if you tuck away a little something, that's more than what you had. So, hey, even if you can just kind of chip away at some of the Christmas shopping with a few extra dollars that you set aside, you'll still be better off. So just wanted to encourage you, not policing you, but just wanted to hold you accountable to, man, think about those Christmas savings, especially if you got them little ones at home. Lord have mercy. And you know what can add up? Suzy Q, what can add up is when you get invited to stuff. Because people don't factor that in.
Definitely.
You might be invited to a good 10 holiday events during the holiday season.
Yes.
And you might want to bring a bottle of wine. You might want to bring some cookies or whatever it is. Tucking away a little something should ease that, that strain. Absolutely. So, yeah, we just going to kind of check in with you guys every now and then and ask you about your Christmas savings. I'm going to go ahead and give you the number. That's 832-303-4788 here at GMT Radio. I would love it if you would lock it in, and anytime you feel the need, you can call in. Sometimes we'll have special opportunities to call in and talk to us, but keep that number because you're welcome to chime in at any time. Aretha.
Yes.
Can you believe it?
I cannot believe she's gone.
Respect. Man. I literally have been watching some clips of her and Wendy Williams, just all kind of clips, her singing with Smokey Robinson. I mean, I had on my Facebook page, I put up some tracks, some Aretha tracks. I mean, man, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and I saw in one of the interviews, and I was about to pose the question, but we already have the answer. It's like, who's the next Aretha? Aretha.
Aretha, there is one. You're right.
I mean, you can't even say somebody's up and coming.
No,
I mean, it's just,
she was one of the greats.
It's no coming after Aretha. I mean, Man, and to be relevant over so many generations, that's the thing. That's the thing that I've respected and I've admired about her music and her as a artist and just as a woman. Because you see right now people come up one hit wonders, here today, gone tomorrow, and then she came up doing her thing in a time where it wasn't easy at all.
Absolutely. And I love, if I can just chime in, she didn't take any mess, and she came up in a time where women really didn't have that voice. And I don't know how many of you know, but Aretha always kept her purse very close to her, because before she did a gig, she got paid in cash.
I didn't know that little Aretha trivia.
Ma'am.
What you say?
So she got paid in cash, and that money was in her her purse before she hit the stage.
Aretha say, "Give me my coin right now. Put it in a bag or whatever. Yeah, give me my bag of money now."
Yeah,
I did not know that. Look at that. You know what? But I'm not surprised, because I'm going to tell you, as I've been reviewing some of the clips and things like that. Not to get in all her financial business, even though that whole will thing, I don't know if you saw that. Like they're saying that she didn't have a will and all this other kind of stuff. That's another story. But what I found out was that she actually owns her like masters in her, and let me tell you something, that's big baller, level, because back then that's, we know the story of a lot of the Motown folks and stuff like that. That's how they got bamboozled, because they didn't own their stuff. And man, Aretha, look, they say Aretha own her stuff, so she's sitting good. You even hum a Aretha song, you might have to pay royalties. Look, so but that's saying something. Do you know in that era, like that's a big deal.
Exactly. I really feel like she's a tremendous loss, because I really feel like, we were talking earlier when she says I'm every woman, she embodied that, from past to present. And so when you say there's not going to be another Aretha, there's not, because she took such a bold stand at a time when women really did not have a voice
at all. Yeah. Much respect to her. And what I don't know, people had talked about, and I said, we're not necessarily like a gossip show or anything like that, but I definitely was wondering, like, what happened with the whole Patti LaBelle thing. I know people, shoo and say all these little stuff or whatever, but I would hope that all that was all right before, everything. Yeah, because I know I saw, some talk about that and heard some things or whatever, but all I know is she didn't bite her tongue. She pulled no punches, and for that, much respect. And then even as she talked about artists, you know how people would try to be politically correct, she would just be like, no, okay, yeah, her, that's good. And she would just be like so raw with it and didn't hold back any punches. So again, just much respect and love for her and her music. Again, she just kept reinventing herself and made new music that was relevant, that that crossed generations. And my kids know who Aretha is, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, she really accomplished some great things. So yeah, it's certainly a great loss, but that music will live on forever. So another thing that's going on right now, as we digest the whole Aretha thing, it's back to school season.
Yes, it is.
It's back to school season. College folks are going to school. The little ones are going to school, and all that involves, and just kind of, that's another thing to think about with regard to budget too. You got these fees and back to school stuff, but hopefully we see, well, at least I do see a lot of community organizations out there really making things happen for families. So I would definitely recommend checking with organizations like United Way, and then also if you would like, you can follow Total Support Initiative, which is an organization that seeks to provide resources from mother to mother. So when we know about things, we post things, we share things. So that's another way to get plugged in, and we do like to highlight community resources. So it's back to school. Be safe. Our little ones are, crossing the streets and riding the buses. And I remember joking with a friend one time, and he said something to the effect like, "Oh, these school zones, and talk about school zone traffic and stuff." And I said, hey, the cure to cancer could be crossing the street. So we should slow down. That mind that's carrying some new technology could be crossing the street. So let's just keep that in mind as we think about back to school. Another thing I want to think about with regard to back to school is as college students go away. My most recent role in my work involves work with college students, and I just want to remind the listeners out there, I'm all about love, all about showing love, is that, college students are oftentimes among the back to schoolers. They are the most neglected because especially when they go away to school. So, our houses of worship, our families, our friends, don't forget our college kids who may need some inspiration and a note of encouragement, a care package, or things like that. So again, it's back to school time. Let's keep our children encouraged and prepared for the school year. Again, it's Lisa Love with It's All Love, airing Mondays, every single Monday from 4:30 to 5:30. I want to mention Showstopper Party Bus, who is one of our sponsors. Really glad to have them. Of course, on our social media handles, we'll go ahead and make sure you have all of that good information about how to reach them and book your events. I know they have a really, really nice van, state-of-the-art equipment in there, and it transports anywhere from 18 to about 20 people. They really treat you well. You have monitors in there. Of course, you got your music, and they really just take good care of you. So that's Showstopper, Stoppa Party Bus. Definitely you want to reach out to them, and again, we'll be sure to make sure you have that information. Just stay connected with us on our social media outlets. Usually it's Let Me Lisa Love You, the letter U, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. What else we got here? So, Miss Suzy Q, what are we talking about today?
Well, we are going to be talking about, as promised a couple weeks ago, what men need in their wardrobe. And then we'll also be talking about the 5 body types. And just to give you a mental picture, we decided to come up with some celebrities that actually have those body types so that you can kind of visualize what that body type looks like, and then you can decide, well, I'm kind of shaped like that celebrity, so you can kind of start to restyle your body image. And then in a couple weeks, Lisa and I will be coming back and do a total makeover dressed in our body types.
That's going to be good. That's going to be fun. I know we were hoping to get that done today, but I think we'll go ahead and push it on in to September, and, we'll just continue to kind of educate people about the body types, maybe some do's and don'ts. And again, I love the concept of helping us to see with our mind's eye when you think about different celebrities that we all know and love, and be like, oh yeah, my body is shaped like that. I am kind of like that. And then we can kind of feel, get a feel from that. So at this segment, I would love for you to share. Let's start with the first one, and then we're going to kind of back and forth a little bit with some of the content that I have for today, and then of course we're going to just piece in our celebrities and your beauty and fashion tips for today. So let's start with that first body type that you want to highlight.
So the first body type, I don't know how many of you all had an opportunity to see Miss Carter or Beyonce Carter. She is an hourglass. And so a lot of times she looks flawless. We see her and we're like, oh, she truly did wake up like that. But I really believe Miss Carter really embraces her body type, and she dresses to her strength. So the next time you look at her, a lot of times she uses rouging in the middle of her dresses, or she will have something to accentuate the waist with a belt. So she has identified, or her stylist, what body type she is. So if you're now looking and thinking, oh, I'm an hourglass, she's a great person to watch and see how she puts her fashions together, because you too will be able to, make those looks and trend right fashion forward for the hourglass.
So I love that, and I love how you talked about like playing up your strengths, because I'm, when I look at women, and I'm not a busty woman. I have a little boobage, but I'm not a busty woman. No. But I love when women who are, they play it up. It's like, pat out, this, and they play it up. I don't think that they're worried about, oh, I don't have enough butt. Oh, I don't. You can see that they're playing up and accentuating their body parts that, make them beautiful.
Absolutely. And I always say we're all imperfectly perfect. And what I mean by that is that we all have areas of strength. And so it's just really identifying your body type. Like Lisa said the other week, you know, where you want to walk in and be flawless. You don't want to think about what your outfit's doing. So if you identify your body type ahead of time, you're conscientious, you're shopping intentional to your body type. So no matter what you put on, whether it's a pair of blue jeans or a dress, you're rocking it to the fullest because it works for your particular figure,
body type.
For your
I'm going to take a moment to make a confession here, and I think I dress. This is so hard to say, but it's the truth, okay? I'm going to be honest, and I hope that this helps somebody, and I hope that you're honest with yourself as I am being today, is that I find I dress to hide the parts that I want to hide. I'm not dressing to accentuate what I want to show. And I personally want to make a shift. I want to shift, and now, yes, we need to be conscious of our trouble areas, so to speak. You know, I have wide hips. I have thick thighs, and all those things. I love me. I love my body, but there are parts that I do. I want to, kind of hide the tummy a little bit. That's something, I want to pull in the waist. I want to, but I find myself dressing to make sure that what I want covered is covered, but at the same time I'm not celebrating what I want to show.
Exactly.
Like, I love my hips, I love my thighs, I love my rear end. I'm just gonna be honest, I love, my children even always say, well, Mom, you're proportionate though, because I'm like, no, I feel, the Mom, but you're proportionate, have nice shape and stuff. Maybe my kids just love their mom like that, I don't know. But the fact is that I really want to move more into celebrating the parts that I want to, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's my thing is, I always say clothing came out. Do you remember the time clothing came out and it would be like one size fits all? But that's not actually correct. So even with the trends, I identify, and all of us can, what works for me. I was saying today, I love the Little House on the Prairie look. I love the peasant tops. But the way it flows at the top for me, my particular shape is an hourglass. That doesn't work for me. So I bought the top, and just to have you think outside the box, I slit it and made it a cardigan, and then I put a V-neck take underneath, and that's complementary to my body type so that I can bring attention to my smaller waist, show you my hips and my Derry Ashford.
Right.
So just thinking outside the box, and definitely going into the holidays. We talked about the parties you're going to be attending, the ugly sweater party. So if you're going to go ahead and participate in those activities, know your body type, definitely.
And then you hear women, and sometimes women are being catty, and I don't necessarily approve of that, but women will be like, just because they make it in your size, you shouldn't wear it. Now, I'm not for people being nasty and mean to one another, but that is true.
Yes.
Just because you were able to purchase things, and then we do have to say to ourselves, but is that flattering on me? Exactly. And maybe not. And we do have to be honest with ourselves about that. So absolutely. So I'm just going to ask to pause for one quick second, and what I'm going to do is introduce what I'm going to be focusing on today, and then we'll continue on with our fashion and beauty. And what I want you guys thinking about as we go through that is today's show, I'm focusing on the love of better. The love of better. I'm going to tell you, listeners, that I'm in love with better. I'm in love with personal growth. I like the word better because it does not assume anything except the fact that everybody is in a position to grow. So as we talked about saving for Christmas, as we talked about, finding fashions that complement our body types and things like that, as we talk about loving each other, et cetera, there's always room to be better. For example, someone could think, well, I'm financially good. I don't need to be going to no groups. I don't need to be. But I bet you, even from where you stand, there's a place called better. Absolutely. So there's someone who may be struggling and everything is just out of control financially and all this kind of stuff. You have a better, and I'm in love with better. I don't think that, and it's a funny balance between being content because I'm happy, I'm satisfied, I love where I am, and I can, we both talk about, Suzy Q and I, we talk about our faith and things like that. So I know you understand where I'm coming from, but at the same time, I'm drawn and pulled to better.
Yes.
And I just can't, be complacent, because there's a difference between, understanding that this is where I am right now and I'm gonna be happy in this moment, but then also just having that love of better. And so we're gonna talk a little bit about that, and I'm gonna start with my first point, and then we're gonna get back to the other celebrities. I can't wait. All I know is I'm thinking about Beyonce, and I know, okay, that's not mine. I don't know who else out there listening, but I'm like, that's not my body type. So I can't wait to get to mine and figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. So on that note of the love of better, talking to those who are in love with personal growth and just becoming a better person. I could rant off and ramble off a list of things, to do, and you need to be doing this and we need to be doing that or whatever. But I actually just kind of did a little searching around and found some things we need to stop right away. We need to stop. So we're going to take that approach. It's sometimes we can say, yeah, we all know what we're supposed to be doing, but, there's some things that we should be stopping. Like, let's just quit these things. And I'm going to tell you that some of the content today came from a place called The Ascent. The Ascent is kind of like it incorporated an article and a blog and just some insights as to certain things that may be toxic to us and us achieving our definition of success for ourselves. And then later on, I'm going to share some more points with you. And it came from a place, believe it or not, called CoinPip. And it's one of those money transfer service companies. But what I stumbled across was a write-up on things that are holding people back. So if you've ever been in any kind of like network marketing or anything like that, you know that those folks, they are psyched, they are hyped, they are, and there's a lot of motivational and inspirational material that comes from their various trainings and workshops. So I just nabbed a few points that stuck out to me. So that's where we're going to be coming from. But the overarching theme is the love of better. Personal growth is what we're talking about. And so first things first says quit dwelling on your past failures. Quit dwelling on your past failures. It's literally like carrying dead weight. Learn from our mistakes. Certainly learn. You need to look at the past failure so you don't do it again. But to dwell on it, I'm talking about, those times when it's really holding you back. You tried one time, it didn't work out. You're scared to try again. People approach you, new opportunities come, and you're really just stuck in that place of dwelling on past failures. The truth is that, just like it says, it truly is in the past. And when you dwell on that past failure, you're robbing yourself of today and you're robbing yourself of future. So if you're in love with better like I am, and if you are committed to personal growth, let's decide today that we're going to quit dwelling on past failures. So right now, I just want you to grab that thing in your mind. The thing that you're kind of embarrassed about. You wish that never happened. Maybe it was getting fired. Maybe it was demoted. Maybe it was a failure with the children, the family, professionally, maybe a business relationship. Okay, guess what? You blew it. I blew it. Whatever it was, it's okay. It's done. Look at it. Glean from it what you can. That's going to help you to move forward. And again, what we're saying for the love of better is to quit dwelling on it already. Let it go. Learn from it and move forward. There'll be more in a second. Suzy Q, who's our next celebrity?
All right. I love that. And if I can just piggyback, I think too, as we were talking back to school, a lot of parents' dynamics are changing for the mom and dad because they now have they're empty nesters, or they have the first child that's going off to college or high school. So their dynamics of what was better now has changed.
That's a good point.
Because they might have been focusing on the kids or getting them through high school or middle school. So now those dynamics change. So as your seasons change, your better will change, and that's okay. Embrace it, receive it. whether it's taking up a hobby, whether it's now intentionally dating your spouse again.
I was about to say, that's the
so
better.
Get to your better.
Yeah.
Don't look at it like, okay, that was my purpose, and now we've gotten this child this far.
Right.
So that too, and back to school, let's think about the moms and dads and what that better looks like.
I like that, because they could be relationally better.
Yes,
let's now focus again on us and nurture our connections. I like that. Yeah. And I like how you say that better is constantly changing, because if we're growing, better should be moving and moving and moving. That marker, right? Good stuff.
Yes, ma'am. And then the next body type we'll be going into is the pear. Kelly Clarkson. I don't know if you all had an opportunity to see this amazing singer, but she definitely embodies the pear type. And what that is they typically are smaller up top, and then they have fuller hips and a fuller backside. And so typically that particular they'll try to balance it out. I even say for that type, you can incorporate shoulder pads in the jackets, which some people think are a no-no, but for a pear, it's ideal because it balances out the top of that body with the bottom. So Kelly Clarkson is our pear shape.
And that's a good one. Kelly Clarkson, guys, American Idol first winner ever, right?
Yes.
And then, over these seasons now, I know she, over the years, we're not saying thin Kelly Clarkson. We're saying the a little more like, endowed Kelly Clarkson. Definitely. The more full Kelly Clarkson is what we're saying is the pear, because up top, she's a little lighter, and then, she's bottom heavy. And then I'm going to share with you guys that I fully believe and embrace that I'm a pear body type. Oftentimes I will find, if I'm shopping for sets, things that have a top and a bottom, the top will always be too big. Once I find the bottom that fits, because it's made for someone who may be bigger at the top. Yes, but but again, like I say, I have the hips and the bigger legs and all that. So if I find something that kind of comfortably fits there, usually and shame on me, I don't know if I'm not supposed to, but I switch out what I need, and if I need a smaller top, I'm switching it out. But I do find that that's what I have going on. One of my things, I'm going to share this with you. One of my things is that, like, I love jeans. I believe jeans, kind of tell it all, honey. But with jeans and most pants, I find that when I find the pant that can fit my legs and hips, I always have a waist that's too big for me, because I think that maybe, like, I'm supposed to be bigger in the midsection. That's how the clothes, that's how it's designed. But I'm actually smaller than one might think as the pear, because I go up, thinner in the midsection.
And so the rule of thumb in that is, if you find the great pair of jeans and that's the only problem, for about $4 or $5, the seamstress puts a little tuck in the waist, and they fit perfectly.
That's what I'm going to need to do.
So that's excellent for the pear shape.
Because I have that thing in the back. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you're listening. If you're a pear shape and you buy your jeans, it fits good in the back, it fits good on the leg, but around that waist, you have that extra, because you're not that wide in the waist. So you're saying just go ahead, get the little tuck, from a seamstress or whatever, or do it yourself. Yes. And that'll take care of that. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, and who do we have next? Who's the pear shape? Was Kelly Clarkson?
Kelly Clarkson.
And that's, again, one in her full.
Yeah.
Is she coming down now?
She's definitely coming down. You can see it a little bit. I would say the smaller Kelly Clarkson, but it's very noticeable, and definitely her fuller figure. She is definitely a clear,
and still amazing looking.
Still amazing.
Absolutely. Looking. This is not right criticism.
And actually, no criticism at all. It's just giving you a visual to identify the different body types. Because for me, again, our grader is getting there together. So identifying what our body types are so that we can dress to our strengths. And so the next one is the inverted triangle, Sherry Shepherd. She's an excellent visual of the inverted triangle. So what that is kind of the reverse. Your broader shoulders, you'll typically can have a fuller chest, but as you go down into the waist and legs, it kind of goes down
like a triangle,
like a triangle, or like a cone. A cone is an excellent way to describe it. So she's a really good example of that. So what you want to do in that case is to balance out the bottom. Skinny jeans are very hot. They hit the market hot and heavy. But my personal recommendation, professional recommendation, is for the inverted triangle to wear like a boyfriend trouser or a little bit of straight flare leg, because it balances out the bottom half. You don't want to do anything that actually accentuates that inverted triangle,
because it's a drastic difference. And if you take a look at Sherri Shepherd, and maybe when I do a link I can go ahead and put some pictures up as well, so people can really know what we're talking about. And I know you and I talked a little bit about that body type, and we were kind of going back and forth between possibly Wendy Williams. We know she has some work done and that kind of thing, but maybe she does still fit in that she is top heavy and then really goes down to a very slim, type thing. And then I also noticed, it's my opinion that the inverted triangle looks very nice in solids.
Yes, absolutely.
That's just, I mean, maybe we all do. I don't know. What do you think?
I think a lot of times solids are complementary first to the inverted triangle, because a lot of times the pattern gets busy. And so what happens is, think about your typical winter dress, spring dress. A lot of times the embellishment or the large flowers are at the top, where if you're already an inverted triangle, the top half of you just is broader or fuller than the bottom, so that is drawing one's eye up, and so it's not balancing your whole silhouette. So that's a lot of times why solids are excellent. And then again, if you're doing a skirt, not necessarily a pencil, but might be an A-line waist and a lower flowy skirt. So then
Open
it doesn't
it up
bring
a little bit,
correct.
balance it
out.
It
doesn't bring the attention to the legs.
And then that brings me. I'm so sorry. I want to hit reverse and go to pear, because with the pear shape, like, I personally, like, if I'm in a skirt, I do like it to be a little form-fitting.
Correct.
Because I'm so wide, I need you to see that, it's a little shape going on down there. And then I have a question about my size, because you hear all kinds of things. Just your professional and personal opinion, your personal taste is, okay, as a bigger girl, okay, I've heard, okay, stay away from the large flower, large print. You want to tone it down. Like, I'm not sure.
Correct.
And then even handbags, people have to say, like, it's a certain size handbag you should be carrying that. Because remember, it's all, guys, tricks of the eyes. It's visual tricks that we're doing. Yeah.
And so visually, again, I always say everyone can rock whatever flavor they decide, but visually you want to be proportionate.
That's the key.
So that's what you're looking for, or you're aiming for with the handbag. So even for me, again, I said I'm an hourglass, so I already have big hips. I have a big bottom, so I don't want a handbag that's going to add to the side of my body and then increase the hip.
Got it.
So when you look at me, I'm actually adding pounds. So when I do a shoulder bag, I actually try it on in the store to see where it'll hit me. And so I kind of like them to stop at my waist. Because again, that's something, I have a smaller waist, so I want to draw you into that and up. But if I have a longer, big handbags that are very popular now, well, then that's attaching it to the hip. That's the same thing that it does with the pear shape. So you're absolutely correct. Because I carry luggage.
If you have if I say, girl, hand me my purse, I mean, you might need a sling, your arm sling, because I do know I have a big purse. I'm carrying all this junk, and I often wonder, but I do, I'm a practical woman too, so I have a big bag so I could just load it up. But when I'm thinking about, fashion and stepping out, I might want to just try to make sure that I'm balancing it out with something that complements, my body type. So that's a good thing to think about. And like I can visually see what you're saying in my mind's eye about the inverted triangle or the cone shape. Is you definitely don't want to go like a skinny jean or something tight or pencil skirt that's emphasizing how small you get at the bottom. You want a more of a flare, or like I love those straight pant legs.
Yes,
oh
ma'am.
Wow,
yes,
that looks
ma'am. They're
so
really
sophisticated and nice. Oh yeah,
they're very nice.
What else you got
the
for us?
The next shape is rectangle. So Gwyneth Paltrow. And so I don't know if you've seen the Iron Man movies, but she is Iron Man's wife in the movie. And so this is a time where we just talked about the previous shape. She might add embellishment to the top.
A girlfriend or something.
She might bring.
No, I'm sorry. What is she? No, is she?
So
Are they
she's
married? I don't know.
rectangle.
Is she the married?
They
Iron
married.
Man. That's his boo. I don't know. Are they? I don't know.
If you
Girl.
see the last one, Infinity
they got married.
War,
Okay, I need to catch up. What you say?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Congratulations, Iron Man.
So they're married. But she could use embellishment with ruffles at the top. So anything, because a rectangle, for lack of a better description, it is kind of boxy. So she'd want the embellishments, the beads, a flower, where okay with the tapestry, because we're trying to, again, visual, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but we want to soften that rectangle shape. So she would actually do the opposite of the other size, because she wants to soften that look. Even layering is an excellent way to do that, because it then can soften that particular shape. And then perhaps layering with a piece, and then she could still do a belt through the middle, but the layering would take away some of the rectangle.
Just looking boxy, straight. It's like just looking at
so it's
straight
just
look.
Straight, yes.
Yeah, that's
so
just
you
like
want
straight.
to give her more curves.
Want to create, yeah. And then
or
would
the
she
illusion.
do? Would she do across the? How there's the tie to the side. Like I'm talking, guys, about like wrap dresses and things like that create a little hip, and it's really not there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
that
so
would
something
be
like
ideal
that.
for her.
And then quick question too. Okay, so like Gwyneth Paltrow is a very slender woman. Are we seeing and saying that even a fuller woman can have that box shape as well, and would need to do things to kind of create a little curve? You know what? There's someone on TV, and I would see her all the time. Oh my goodness, and it's escaping me. This would have been a good person for us to write down, because honestly, she just is straight. And when I say straight as a board, but I paid attention to how she dressed. Is an actress, and it's on the tip of my tongue. Maybe it'll come to me before the end of the show. But she knew how to dress to create the appearance of just
the
a
illusion, definitely
little curve there.
And,
yes,
and just like Lisa said, that's exactly it, because it's someone that's typically flat. They're typically smaller chested. They don't have hips, and they don't have back. So it doesn't matter if they're smaller in frame, skinnier, or fuller in frame, but it will be very boxy. And the reason we're using celebrities today, I was going to say, you might ask, because most of them, either them or their stylists, have mastered what their body type is. Trust me, this is big business.
Right.
And they do an excellent job of dressing to their body type. So sometimes you actually really have to look close to identify what that body type is, because they do an excellent job silhouetting it. So they're great go-tos. Yeah. And then once you can identify that type, again, it gives you just a starting point of how you can actually incorporate things in your own wardrobe.
Yes.
And the last will be the apple shape. So that is a typically completely rounded shape. You'll typically see fuller in the stomach. And the star I associated with that is Suzy is her last name. She is on
starred in
Empire,
the movie.
And she is actually lost a lot of weight here recently. She acts as, I won't say it's the secretary position, but I'm trying to give you a visual of who she is. But she's pretty, it's kind of rounded out, just like an apple. So that shape, typically, again, you want to have a higher waist right under the bust, and you would like to let the gown, if it's a dress, flow so that it can silhouette over that. That particular shape, I would not do the pencil skirts. And so she's a great point of reference, definitely now, because I think she's really taking a handle on her fashion or her stylist. And so you can really see her complementing that body type. And again, there is no right or wrong body type, but by identifying what your body type is, really it's dressing for success, because when you feel good, when you look good, and when you identify what your shape is, you can dress to that body type and, like I said, look stellar every day.
Yes. And this is, are we talking about the young lady who played as Precious?
Yes,
that might
correct.
help as
And
well.
she played as Precious.
So
Correct.
people can have the right person in mind. And she's doing, she's on Empire as well. And I know that she's been kind of fluctuating a little bit with the weight and kind of coming down a little bit, which we're all happy for her to be healthy and things like that. And I know she did have one look. I don't know if you all ever see women out, and let's say it's an apple shape, you know, just really kind of like literally a round kind of shape, and they will have on something. This is the style I see, and I love it on them, is that they will have a dress on, and the seam of the dress is right under the bust line, and they'll have a dramatic bust line, like seam. It may be a black, a gold, or whatever, and then the rest just falls down.
Correct.
And it does wonder. It elongates you. I love long dresses for that reason as well.
Vertically, it's very slimming.
Yes,
it's a really great look for the apple shape body
and
type.
it just flatters, like you know, and it's almost like we don't know what's going on under there. I mean, it just falls right and looks beautiful. Absolutely. And again, like I said, I would see that seam line right under the bust, and it kind of just pulls them in right there, and then everything falls, and it's wonderful. And I love long dresses. I'm a shorter woman. I'm a thicker woman. I love long dresses because they are slimming. I do love that. And when I am going for that, I love a longer dress. And then sometimes I'm just feeling short and sassy, and I will show the thighs, honey, with some heels, with some nice heels. So yes. And what else you got for us? I love this because this is helping me to know like who to look at for what my style, you know, that will work for me.
Yes, ma'am. So that is our 5 body types. But I also have just a little bit to share with our men's today, because again, we don't want to leave them out.
Leave the fellas out.
So these are some must-have in the men's wardrobe or closet. And again, these are classic staple pieces that you should have. And then again, if you're reaching for the trends or you want to add bits and pieces, these are just staple pieces. And then later this week I will upload on Instagram the full list of everything, but I picked some selective pieces that I thought were really good for the grown and sexy man.
So these are pieces they should have in their closet.
They should have in their closet.
Okay, interchangeably with stuff, right?
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
So they should have a dark suit, and I would say 1 or 2 dark suits, navy or black, and they should also have a light suit, because depending on the time of the year, what's going on in the season. And for men, I thought it very important because they're typically sports, think of driving cars, sunglasses, but a timeless pair. So a pair that are not going to go out.
Got it.
So they can get into the trendy ones, but they want to have one staple pair
That
of glasses.
Okay.
White button-down collared shirt. And also the collar stays. And I always mention that because over time, even dry cleaning or washing, the collar will start to roll up. And so it's just an inexpensive pack of collar stays to keep that white shirt
So how does that work? Like you're not talking about the thing it's going to button?
No, they actually slide in. A lot of the men's shirts have like a little slit, and it just helps the collar stay nice and crisp under those suits.
And we're saying they all need a white one.
Yes,
a white shirt.
A white shirt. And I just threw the collar stays in because it helps. It'll help with their color and their white ones. But sometimes people wonder why, like after a while, that collar gets kind of frumpy. The collar stay just helps it stay crisp. So you just slide it right in.
Slide it on in. Okay.
Exactly. A colored button-down shirt, and again, for the seasons, or just again, sometimes when you're not doing the full suit and you're doing slacks and a shirt. Brown leather dress shoes or black leather dress shoes, but the brown ones are actually the one that they're saying that every man should have. And then of course a corresponding black or brown belt. Quality white t-shirts, crew neck, because
she said, I repeat.
Right, because sometimes you have that white one that you wash the car, you go to the gyms with the guys with, but you actually want to have a separate one that day you're pulling off with the khakis or you're wearing a pair of dark denim jeans. A denim jacket.
That's what I was going to ask.
A denim jacket, yes.
I was going to ask about, because I think this is sexy, khaki pants.
Exactly.
A white, it could be a white tee, you know, or it could be that white button down, and a nice denim, not hard, rough denim that, you know, not rough skin denim, not Wrangler's denim, but like that denim look on a blazer. Like, that's so fly. Maybe, I don't know, I'm kind of corny.
No, it's really nice.
I think that's nice.
I think it's a nice look as well. And then this one is going to kind of probably throw you, but some shoes that can be worn in the rain. You know, because sometimes the guys don't have a transitional pair of shoes. Like, women typically have rain boots. But so a pair that you know that will propel the rain, so you're not running out in your J's, or you're not running out in your suede shirt shoes. So a pair that can actually, you know, offset that rain. Yes.
That's something to think about, though.
Definitely.
Because it'll mess up your look. If you have on the rain and it's raining and then it starts to look nasty, because, yeah, that's a good point.
A nice watch. Because women accessorize with bangles and bracelets and a lot of, you know, cutesy pieces. But it's great for a man, and even though that's an accessory, but it's a staple piece. Because when you conduct business, when you shake hands, so a nice watch. And then another one that's an accessory item, but very important, an everyday bag. So it can be like a computer bag or a work bag, but men have papers and things to carry too. And sometimes we don't want to see you with the recyclable tote or the stuff dumped in that gym bag. So just a grown and sexy everyday bag.
And that's sexy. And people, you know, guys have been talking about the man bag and, oh, that's a purse and all of that. But it's sexy because that man look like he on a mission, look like he got some business to take care of, look like you got somewhere to be. You know what I'm saying? So I like that idea of having a nice bag. It doesn't have to be the man purse or whatever. Just something that says, like, I got some things to be taken care of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. That sounds really, really good. Now, what about a more casual look? Like, you know, of course, the fellas, you know, they'll wear their jeans and stuff like that. And what's a good compliment to that when you want to take it down a notch and really just have a casual look? You think that could work for them?
So when you're going with your jeans, you can actually do the white tee. I actually also put printed tops, just a couple printed tops, and that can go from, depending on the time of the year, where it could be sleeveless, it could be the polo style, and the polo's on the list too, because you can do a sporty version of it, or if it's business casual, it's something that still has the collar, but it's short sleeves, so it'll take you through the summer season.
And should men be tucking and wearing a belt and all that? Like, is that going with Urkel, or should
no,
what do you think?
It is actually still very, you know, fashionable. It's still a really good look, and and again, I'm talking about the, you know, the mature man. That's a nice finished look. If you're out, and again, you know, you might be at a sporting event or one of your children's football games, then yes, it's okay to pull that shirt out.
Casual, yeah.
But the shoes should always match the belt. So sometimes men can even throw on that polo, a pair of dark denim jeans, that chocolate brown belt, and those chocolate brown slacks, you know, and just look amazing. And then to make sure that you separate, and you have your sweatpants, your gym shirts, and your gym shorts. And that's why I said the gym shorts. Make shirts make sure you separate the nice crisp white ones out, and those are the ones that you will wear. Let's say you're not wearing a full suit and you're wearing like a blazer, or you need a suit jacket because it's an event where you need a jacket but you don't need the full suit look.
Right.
Well, then you can then layer that over one of the white tees, again, the blue jeans or the khakis.
That's
and
nice.
You can still be grown man sexy but not pulling out the full suit.
I love it. And I'm gonna go hit reverse again and talk about the watch. And women kind of are notorious for the like you said, the bangles, the bracelets, and doing all this thing and to look nice and things like that. Now, I was concerned about the watch. I thought we were about to see the death of the watch, when now our timepieces are our phones. Everybody, many people have a phone. Most people have a phone. Your clock is there. But I can say, even though I'm not a watch connoisseur, because there are some people who they know their timepieces and it's a big deal. It's a statement, but when I see a man wearing a watch, it's eye-catching.
Absolutely. It's a statement piece. And when
you
go to shake their hand and they have a nice watch, whether it's a classic watch or let's say it's in a sporting arena and they have a nice sport watch, it tells you something about that man. Like, to me, that he went the extra step,
fine
that
taste.
he really has exquisite taste, because he knows that's a classic staple piece, and you're like, oh, that's a really nice watch.
Because I'm not a watch person, but I will notice it if if a brother is wearing a nice timepiece. That's good stuff. So the fellas have a way to do their thing too.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna ask this, and then I'm gonna finish out a few quick points about the love of better. And the question was, we talked about the female body types and things like that, and I was trying to think of the gentleman who might be a little on the husky side. He's a bigger guy, might have a little more tummy or whatever. And then maybe he should stay away from the belts, right? like, what's his, what I'm saying, like, what's ideal for him?
So his could be like, going into the fall, a layering piece. So he could actually do a crew neck or even a V-neck, the thin silk sweaters. So he could layer that piece over a pair of nice slacks and then layer it with the jacket, the dress jacket, where he's not putting on the full-on suit, and then again he's dressing to his strengths. So where he's not putting the belt in, he's not tucking it in, and then drawing you in to, let's say, that apple shape, because he has a fuller stomach. So this is a way for him to work, his Devo, and he can actually put on that sweater. And I typically like again, it's your preference, but a fuller man, the V-neck is very nice. You layer it with that jacket, and he can then do dress pants or blue jeans, and it still creates a very amazing look.
I like that. And then even I was thinking, you mentioned the blazer, but I've seen like a bigger guy, he might have on like a tee, as the bottom, and then actually a shirt. It's just a button-down shirt that he wears open.
Absolutely.
And I like that look, and it's complimentary to his body, and it's not, it looks nice.
He can even do the denim jacket. If it's a perfect fit for him, and he just has on, let's just say, a white tee with it. He has it, untucked, and has on some pants. That's a really nice look.
It's a nice look, because men have their trouble points too, I guess. They have their... So okay, well, that's cool, and maybe we could talk more about that, and make sure our guys are out there styling and profiling and looking good too. So the love of better, guys, the love of better. So we already kind of talked about the love of better, in that we want to do better in how we're styling ourselves, so that not so we could be flossing and all that kind of stuff, but just if we look better, we're going to just feel better. It's just, I mentioned before, women and men, just walk into a room, command the attention of everybody in the room. They just have such confidence and things like that. And a lot of times it's really linked to the fact that they have really just dressed for the moment, and they feel good in what they have on. They move like they do. Her feet ain't hurting. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. She picked the right shoes and all that kind of stuff. So the love of better. The next thing, guys, we need to quit setting wrong goals. You might say, well, what's a wrong goal? A goal is a goal. It's good to set goals. Well, what we want to do is, we tend to focus on outcome goals, and that's kind of like big picture goals. But what you can do is set process goals. So let's just say and focus on process goals. So let's say the outcome goal is I want to lose 10 pounds in a month or whatever it may be. Well, you can leave that there and just there's no roadmap or nothing. Or you can say that's the outcome goal. And then the process goal would say I want to drink more water. I'm going to work out 30 minutes a day, and it's going to have those steps. So what we're reading and what we're having here and what we're saying is quit setting the wrong goals. Quit just focusing on the big picture outcome goals. Go ahead and define some process goals. How are you going to get to the big picture? And you'll find it's more palatable. Those things are the doable things. Those are your action steps. And actually, one writer actually had encouraged us to go ahead and think in terms of, as we wrap up 2018, to think about setting a health goal, a wealth goal, a social self goal, and a personal enrichment goal. Health, wealth, social self, personal enrichment. Those are 4 key areas that, guess what? If you have a love of better, there's certainly probably some room in there for us to get better. Quit being around the same people. Now, this one was really speaking to being in the rut of people who, and we're this keeps coming up again and again, like people who are really not serving you. And I don't mean like people you're taking advantage of and they just do everything for you. I'm talking about people who don't complement who you are or who you're trying to become. So shake it up a little bit, meet new people, broaden your horizons, and again, it just quit being around the same people. And again, that lends itself to some conversation we've had previously about toxic people and these circles that you need to shake it up a little bit. And can you have a best friend? Of course. Can you have your ride or die? Of course. Can you have that person who's been there through thick and thin? Absolutely. That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about when you see that your circle, again, is no longer serving you or it's not complementary to who you are or who you're trying to become. You want to shake things up a little bit and engage new people so it could stretch you. Also, for the love of better, guys, quit starting the day in a reactive mode. Quit starting the day in a reactive mode. It's kind of like snooze, snooze, snooze. Oh God, what next? and that kind of thing. But wake up with a little pep in your step. Set a morning ritual. Maybe your morning ritual is to watch the news and have a cup of coffee. Maybe your morning ritual is to start off with some meditation. What they're saying is what's hurting us is we're just being reactive. We're just kind of waking up and, oh God, what? Oh, I got to be here. No, take control. Take control. It's your 24 hours. Yeah, hello.
Absolutely.
That you got from on high. So go ahead and take control. And I love the idea of setting a morning ritual. And this will rejuvenate you and energize you and prepare you for the day. It almost is like, too, if you approach the day in a reactive mode, you kind of already defeated. You don't want to start in that position. Also, we're advised to quit relying on willpower. That's not enough. It's not enough. Willpower won't do it. I know you're saying, you don't know me. You don't know me. Once I will to do this, and I'm going, you know what? What we're saying here from this research and this article and blog and feedback is that change your environment. That's what we need to do. Change the environment to support the thing you want to do. If you want to work out more, have a gym bag in the car. If you want to quit soda, stop having it at the house. What they're saying is change the environment to support the thing that you're trying to do. If you think that you're just going to, why leave it to chance? Why say, okay, I'm just going to will myself. I'm just going to make sure I drink 8 glasses of water, when what you could do is fill a water jug the night before and grab that jug on your way out for the day. And since it's in the car, since it's in your person, on your person, you're more likely to drink the water. So you see what we're saying is change your environment to support the thing that you're trying to do. That's I love that one. I know people who go as far as to sleep in their workout clothes. They'll shower and everything and get relaxed and stuff. They will put on their workout, so they have no excuse. They wake up, put on socks and sneakers, and then go. They are removing, that barrier. Another thing, quit staying in your comfort zone. You're living life on rerun. If you stay in the comfort zone, I love how they articulated that and just said you're living the same year after year. Mm-hmm. If you never do something that's apart from your norm, if you never get outside of the box, if you never take on that new experience, if you never do what you've never done, you're literally, let me tell you something. When I read this little piece, like you're living, I chose my words for this, but basically it was saying you're living life on rerun. You're just hitting replay, repeat. Don't even talk about new year, new you. Your 2016 looked just like this 2018. What we're saying is get outside the comfort zone. You're like, well, no, I don't normally go to. Okay, well, go this year. Go. And I love that a lot of the things that I read talked about not waiting for next year. Don't wait for 2019. Just a few days ago, I made a post about the remainder of 2018 saying, and I challenged everybody, let's make it fire. Let's make it fire. Let's make the end of 2018 like the most awesome life ever. Like, I'm not waiting to celebrate the new year. Like, when January comes, then I'm going, no, I'm already in motion. Like, things are already in motion. So I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to embrace change. And you'll see this over and over again. You'll hear me talk about it, is that we have to let go of who we are for who we want to become. We have to let go. You can't hold on to the person you've been and embrace the person you want to be at the same time. It just doesn't work that way. So let's muster up the courage to embrace change and think about, you might say, well, I'm all right. You know, the person I was, I'm cool. But guess what? There's always room for better.
Yes.
There's always room for better. And then really, really quickly, here are some things that are holding us back, according to some of the things I researched to share with you. And then we're going to close on that note. Perfectionism. You got to get it right all the time. Every dot has to be, it's going to slow you down. Resting on your achievements. You did that. Okay, so I published a book. When was that? 2013? I can't keep resting on that. I have to keep cranking out books. I can't be like, well, that time back in 2003, 2013. I can't do that. And so resting on your achievements, feeling like you have arrived, that's what's holding you back right now. And I usually find that people that I meet who have achieved a certain level of success, they're never finished. They never feel finished. They feel like on to the next thing. I mean, it's just a constant, and they love it and they're passionate about it. Closed-mindedness will hold you back. Closed-mindedness. Be open. Listen to what people have to say. Open the floodgates.
Absolutely. Get
other counsel. Micromanagement. If you have to control every single little bitty thing, that's going to hold you back.
Yes,
You're going to have to entrust some people with certain aspects of what you have going on, and then just trust that you'll be able to get it together if something goes awry. Negativity is holding us back. Cut them loose. I don't know what else to tell you.
Exactly.
Cut them loose. That's all I can say. Not taking a break from work. Then there's overdoing it. So you work. No. Take a break, because that will hold you back. You're going to burn out. You're going to burn out. And then lastly, they're saying take care of yourself. When you don't take care of yourself, that's going to hold you back. If you get sick, suffer a setback, and things happen in life, but we're talking about kind of like a gross neglect of really slowing it down a little bit to take care of yourself. Because if you're working on a vision and a plan, chances are it's something that's very important. Would you want to be derailed by illness or by something that you could have prevented by taking care of yourself? Go see your doctor. You guys know I'm big on the whole health thing. Get your checkups and things like that. I definitely, as we seek to close out right now, want to thank our sponsors. One particular Showstopper Party Bus. Again, you can look on our social media outlets to see all the information to contact them. And I am looking forward to the holiday season. And again, if you need suggestions about what to do on that party bus, you can call your girl, because I got suggestions for you how to get together and have some fun and have a good time on the Showstopper Party Bus. It's all love with Lisa Love, and we're Mondays 4:30 to 5:30, and we'll see you next time, or you'll hear from us next time. But until then, go love somebody. Thank you.
Thank you.